Let's turn it around. Oh, there we are. That's what we're doing today. A little chenille. That's actually pretty fun. Check it out. It's very fun. Should I show all your samples? No, just this one. And they're joining us. Hello, Helena and Vicky. Here they come. Hi, Kay. Hi, Nina. I'm being very quiet, being softly spoken today. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Just starting. I think we do. And maybe, I think. Do you have me look? Fun, fun, fun. Oh, I'm glad you love your new sewing machine, Vicky. It's pretty awesome. Joanna loves chenille. How did you know that's what we're doing? Can you tell? Can you see it? Dun, da, da, dun. Pam is going to bring it all together today. Here she is.
You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We are ready. Oh, Kay Pope used her Martelli mat this week, and she says, it's the bomb. It is the bomb.
Oh, chenille.
Oh, chenille.
Okay, so today what I thought we would do is we're going to focus on chenille, but not in the embroidery part. We are going to do chenille. I'm going to bring everything together that you guys have been doing on Facebook. So, oops, it's right here. So here is a pillow that we did if you were in Project Embroidery, and it has chenille. So I have seen chenille as part of an embroidered pattern, but a lot of people want texture in something, but they don't have an embroidery machine. So what I'm going to do today is show you how you can take any shape. So you can take the shapes from the AccuQuilt, you can take any shape that you can cut out, and you can turn it into chenille so easily. So just a couple things that I've done. We've been talking about pillows. So this is a pillow, and you can see that these are all AccuQuilt. This is an AccuQuilt heart, and these were the letters, and turned it into that beloved back that everybody likes. If you wanted to, you could take one of the Kimberbell aprons that we made, and this one just as a little embellishment kind of thing. Instead of doing a strap that went all the way around, I just added a grommet on this side so that you can make your strap as long or as short as you want it. But wouldn't this be a cute little Christmas gift? Again, this is an AccuQuilt tree that I've chenilled, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. Or you could take the pre-made bags. So if you've never done Kimberbell, Kimberbell has the blue denim bag, and they've also got the check bag. And I took this, and these were just the little terrier dog that was part of the AccuQuilt die. Also, if you wanted to combine something else, we could take a Kimberbell towel, and we could use a Kimberbell towel and turn it into a bag. Because the bags come as one piece, you just add a handle, sew up the sides, and if you want to put a bottom, you make a bottom on it. But let's focus on the chenille. So to do chenille, you need 4 layers of fabric. 1 layer, you're going to add a layer of Steam-A-Seam 2, or you could use Heat and Bond, or you could use Wonder Under. Same procedure that we used when we talked about the applique in a previous video. So this is a layer of the heat, or the Steam-A-Seam, I'm sorry. And I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to iron it on. So when we did applique a couple sessions ago, we just used some kind of a bonding product on 1 layer. Now for chenille, you need 1 layer that has bonding material on it and 3 layers of additional fabric. I could, if I wanted to, so let's say I don't have an AccuQuilt machine, I could literally take my 4 layers of fabric and I could cut any shape that I want to cut. So let's say I wanted to do like a teardrop.
We are doing chenille And Pam is showing how you can cut 4 layers of fabric all together and just create your shape with or without the AccuQuilt. But the AccuQuilt shapes work really well.
Right.
So chenille it is.
So let's say that I just want to do a teardrop. I could cut 4 layers. I'm going to take this layer and fuse it onto my background piece. Now, I've got a heart here that I'm going to show you. So here is my heart. So anybody who has an AccuQuilt cutter and you also own an embroidery machine, you know that all of the shapes now have where you can do the applique. And the applique, they give you a placement line. So in this case, I'm going to take my heart and just fuse it right here. And on the AccuQuilt website, I can either choose to do a blanket stitch, which is traditional chenille, or I can choose a fancy stitch, or I can use a satin stitch. So I've chosen the fancy stitch, and I'm using gray thread just so you can see what it looks like, but I'm going to iron real quick to fuse this in place.
And while she's ironing that, there was a question about, are these videos available later? And yes, we do have a YouTube channel. It's just go to YouTube, search Quilt Beginnings, and all of our Facebook Lives are up there. They also all live on our Facebook page. So you can just go to the Facebook page where you are right now, and you will see them posted just each day. They are listed there.
Okay,
right.
And also, if you don't own a small iron, we have many small irons that fit right in the embroidery hoop, so I could just iron this right in the embroidery hoop. Okay, if I were going to do my little teardrop, I would just fuse this one down, go to my sewing machine, and use a blanket stitch like I normally would. In this case, I'm using a digitized pattern, and this one is just their fancy stitch. So it doesn't matter how you do it, if you're doing it the old way by using a blanket stitch on the sewing, or if you're using your embroidery machine, the first layer has to get sewn down. So I'm going to let this stitch out real quick, but again, any shape, AccuQuilt shape, or any shape that you can create. And I'm using gray thread just so that you can see what it looks like, and then we'll go to the chenille part. So it's going to take a minute for that to stitch out. And what I like about chenille is it adds a lot of texture. So you could do it, let's say you wanted to make a baby book, you could do it with animal shapes. If you were doing a onesie or a bib, you could add texture to it. You could use it in a quilt, you can use it on an apron, in a bag, just so many different ways. I really like the Christmas tree.
I don't think you showed them that yet.
This was the apron.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes.
Okay, and this one I just added buttons, but it just gives it some really nice texture. And the more you wash it, the more chenilles. So it's just fun. Okay, this is almost finished. Okay. So again, I could have done a blanket stitch using just a sewing machine, but now I'm finished with my embroidery part. So I'm going to convert my machine to a sewing machine. So no matter how you laid the first part down, now we're going to add 3 more layers of fabric. So I'm going to convert this real quick to a sewing machine. And I like to use an open toe foot so I can see what I'm doing. So I've got my open toe foot on. And I like to choose a bean stitch. So the bean stitch on this machine is stitch number 5, but to do your bean stitch, you'll figure out which one it is because it's up to back 1, up to back 1. If you use just a regular straight stitch, it's not heavy enough. So if you use a straight stitch, you would have to like go forward, backward, forward, backward. When you pick the bean stitch on the baby lock, it actually puts it in the left position, and I'm going to move that to the middle position. So I'm going to move my width to 3.5. Now I've got my 3 layers of fabric. I'm going to take the 3 layers of fabric, and I'm just going to get them as close together as I can, but don't worry, they don't have to be perfect. And I'm going to lay these 3 layers here. Now, I find that if you do a cross, so in other words, I go at a 45-degree angle and it's on the bias, I think it's chenille's a little better. This is Kimberbell tape, and what I'm going to do is just lay my Kimberbell tape at an angle just so I have an angle to start with. So now what I'm going to do, and I would be using red thread if this was for real, but I'm going to use gray thread to show you what it looks like.
They also want to know whether or not you would need stabilizer under it while you're chenilling.
I would use stabilizer. In any case, it's an applique. So if you're doing sewing, you need stabilizer under it because it's a decorative stitch. If you're doing machine embroidery, you need stabilizer under it because it's embroidery. So now I'm going to lower my presser foot and I'm going to do this stitch. And you can see that when it sews, I can crank up the speed a little bit. It's going forward to back one. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to leave this tape here to hold it. And now I'm going to turn it this way. And what you want is it to be about 3/8 of an inch apart. And I find that if I just use the edge of this presser foot, it makes it about 3/8 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and start it again. And I'm just starting at the edge. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way across. So let me, and I just chose a small heart so it won't take real long, but I'm going to go ahead and do this again.
So just straight parallel rows.
Straight parallel rows using the edge of my presser foot, and you want it about 3/8 inch apart. If you go less than 1/4 inch, you won't be able to get your chenille cutter through there. And if you do a lot more, you're going to have so much to fray that it's almost too much. So I found that 3/8 inch works pretty well. And chenille's very forgiving. Now you can see I don't have enough to do here, but now I'm going to turn it to this side and I can move my tape down. I'm just using the tape to kind of hold it, but I don't care if anything frays. I only need that one first line to get my...
And the stabilizer you're using is just a tearaway, right?
This is a tearaway, and if I were doing this if I had done the first one, not in embroidery, I would have just used a lighter weight. I needed to use this heavier stuff because I was actually putting it in the embroidery hoop. And I'll go back and cut all these threads, but you're gonna see how easy this is.
This baby lock foot is the open toe applique foot, and all the brands have an open toe applique foot. It's great for visibility when you're doing straight lines.
Right, correct. And I think I can get one more row and only one more row. And so again, well, I'll show you in a minute on the dog. Just, if it starts to pucker, just, open up your foot and then put it back down. But like I said, chenille is very, very forgiving, and you're never going to know if anything slipped because it is so forgiving. Okay, so when I'm finished, I have, now again, these would be red. If I were actually doing this for real, I would have used the red thread so you don't see it, but I'm going to move my sewing machine out of the way. Now, if you could take scissors and put it in here, but the chenille cutter, and we do sell these chenille cutters, it comes with two tips, a really long tip for straight lines, and it comes with a shorter tip, and the shorter tip allows you to go around curves. But I'm simply going to take this here, and I'm not going to go through my bottom layer. I'm only going through the top 3 layers. And so if you've appliqued that first layer down, you're not going to be able to get your cutter underneath it. But I'm just going to take and press down and push up. And that has slashed right between those areas.
So fast. Wow.
Is this not cool?
It's very cool.
Okay. Okay, so you can see that that part is done. Now, if you ever read about chenille, they tell you to take an emery board to rough it up. I have never had much luck with an emery board, but I like to take the tip of my scissors, and what I'm doing right now is I'm doing the top part of the line, and I literally just take the scissors right over the edge of it.
Wow, look at that.
And the more you rough it up, the more frayed it gets.
That's the best chenille, instant chenilling I've ever seen.
Isn't that cool?
Linda says she uses a wire brush about the size of a toothbrush to fray it, and it's almost instantaneous. That would work really well too,
a wire brush. Here's the problem. At my household, I would not be able to find a wire brush, and so I have to make do with what I have. Now, you can see some of the gray threads here, but if I were doing the red thread, you wouldn't see it at all. And you just keep roughing it all up like this. And I love playing with the AccuQuilt ones because, you know, they all come out just so even. But do you see how it just roughs up so quick? And so now you have an instant, you know, chenille. And it's just really, really, really cool.
Very fun.
So, like, when I did this, I could have done all the USA together. But I just thought, you know, having a rough heart looked very, very cool. This one, when I did the dogs, then I just went ahead and used my buttonhole stitch to apply these.
That's
and I
so
put
cute.
a little eye on it to apply that. And as I was doing this, I thought, heck, I could take those Kimberbell aprons and just turn those into a bag as well. So literally the bags, I brought a bunch of things back to show real quick. But Kimberbell makes the bag, and it comes in a denim. So you could do a denim bag. And I don't know if you can see this close up, but it comes with like a handle and it's open. So here's a handle and here's a handle. And after you do it, you sew up the sides and you can box the bottom if you'd like. But we have these bags. Kimberbell also makes a plain white apron, both adult and child. So you could do anything for Christmas and just make it so easy. I mean, it's just so easy to whip it up. Or you can take the Kimberbell towels, and you have followed the videos for the past several weeks. You can turn it into an apron like this. You have the shorter aprons that we did, but there are just so many things that you can put chenille on, and it just adds so much texture to it. So, did anybody have any questions for me?
No, several people want chenille cutters. And then what kind of fabric? You can just use plain old cotton fabric.
Cotton fabric works the best. And I will tell you, I think that cotton, as opposed to batiks, cotton frays a whole lot easier than what a batik does.
And flannels fray really well as well.
Flannel frays really well, but it's so easy to use. And the more color you have in it, this looks really solid because I used a solid color. But if I had frayed one of these, and I was originally going to do that, but I stopped after doing the heart, you can actually see the red and blue in there too. And there's no rules. You could take and add blue, red, and you could have some of each color showing through.
Right.
But very, very easy to do and just very simple. So,
okay. All right. So I have some good news and some. Well, we'll do it together.
Got it. Oh.
Yeah, we'll do it together. Actually, yeah. Okay, so here are Pam and I together. First off, we got to give Pam lots of love because she's the teacher with the mostest.
Thank you.
So the good news is that we have actually gone through all of our class schedules. The store is now open again. We now have customers in the store. We are really excited that we have been able to put our class roster that we missed in March and April and May onto our July and August calendar, which means that Miss Pam is going to be back in the classroom.
I'll be back here,
back in the classroom with all of you.
Yeah.
And we are also seeing all of you in the store. So for the time being, we are going to end our Wednesday afternoon lives because we have other fish we want to fry. We're going to do some videotaping. We'll put them on our YouTube channel, and we will come back and visit on Facebook, but we want you guys to come see us. So
absolutely.
With all that,
we're going to miss it, but we want you guys to come in the store.
Yes. So anyway, we'll see you in class. We are the current rules are we're doing only the event center. We're not using our classroom. We're allocating one table per student. We're going to have cameras and the video monitors instead of having people gather at the classroom table. And anyway, we're really excited about getting you back in the classroom. So
can't wait to see you all.
All right, you guys have a great week.
Thank you so much for your support on the Facebook Lives. We really enjoyed it.
It's been really fun. So
thanks.
We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.